Our goal in all of our children's programming is not to teach necessarily, but to make people understand that reading is fun and you want to do it.
I like to show them, get them to appreciate a book and get them to know that books are probably the foundation of our society, educationally anyway. And being an ex-teacher, I appreciate all the help we can get as teachers in education, especially nowadays. I used to do work in the church, in the Young Methodist Youth, I guess it was called. And I got a chance to do some sort of teaching there. Then in the Army, I rose to the esteemed rank of staff sergeant, and I had a chance there to do some teaching and some leadership things. And I came home from the Army and went to work right away because I had a family to support. And got laid off, and my mother said, "Why don't you go to school?" And I said, "Oh, how would I do it?" She said, "I'll babysit and we'll get by." So we did. And I discovered that lots of Korean vets were doing the very same thing. And that in my junior year at Penn State, they said, "Now you've got to decide what you're going to do." So I said, "Well, okay, maybe I'll try teaching." And it's worked out pretty well for me.
I've been here since 2001. So it's been about 6 years. In August, it'll be 6 years.
Time really flies, doesn't it?
Yeah. And like Mr. Campbell, I started my career in education. And while I was in college, I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I worked, oh, did you too? Yeah. I worked at Stapleton Library, which is a huge, huge library with a wonderful children's section. And so when I graduated college, I immediately looked for employment, and I was immediately hired. And so when I came back to this area, the job opening had just come open, and it was there were a lot of applicants. I was very tickled that I got the job, and a lot of my educational background has served me. Well, in the summer reading program, which is going on right now, we are trying very hard to bribe children to try different kinds of books. We do not give children prizes for reading books because they would have read books anyway. The prizes are for participating in the program and being nice enough to say, "Oh, the library wants me to try a poetry book. Oh, try a mystery book. Oh, we're going to try a sports book." Children of a certain age only want to read a certain kind of book. And this is really true of adults too. If you think about it, when you go to the library, you try the same kind of book, you know what you like, and you stick to it. Well, you can do that as an adult, but as a child, you're missing out on all kinds of lovely things. Okay, that's not true. As an adult, you're missing out too. We should bribe the adults to try different things as well. So in the summer reading program, we have the kindergartners through the 4th graders roll dice and go around a game board with different categories on it to try different kinds of books. And then they get participation prizes each week. And the participation prizes are for participating in the program, because we don't want people to say, "I'm only going to read a book if I get a prize." This is very important. We right now have 263 children signed up for the summer reading program. And at 10:15 this morning, in about 45 minutes, we will be seeing about 22 of them. And we will be reading, actually we'll be reading Curious Critters. And today we also have a special guest. His name is Teddy, and he's a dog. He will be sitting next to our volunteer Andrea as she reads one of the books this morning. And it's very interesting to see the children's interaction with animals. This is also an up-and-coming thing with libraries. They will do programs with therapy dogs. Therapy dogs will come in and the children will read to the therapy dogs. And it's very, very good for practicing your reading. You have a very non-judgmental audience, and it's fun for the dogs too. They have a good time.
Well, I'm an ex-biology teacher, so I grew up in the biology section pretty quickly, and there's just so many there of interesting things. And I was a teacher who did the trees, identifying trees in the fall, and I tried to show them how you did it. The leaf identification was one, and you could tell by the bark of a tree many times what type it is, and also where they grow successfully. Some trees don't grow successfully in Pennsylvania. Palm trees, for example, if you put them out in the woods, they're not going to last too long. And in science, it's fairly easy because it's such a broad topic, and you can find We have biologies of famous scientists that we try to get them interested in. And once you get them that they know where to go, they just breeze right by us. They don't ask us anymore, and they just go where the books are that they like. And our problem is to get them to see all the books in the library, and that's what the summer reading program does, hopefully.
Story time, we try to split up the times as much as possible, because depending on the age of the child, the older children will have lessons, for instance, in the middle of the day or the afternoon, but the younger children will tend to have naps. Now, some people have naps in the morning and some people have naps in the afternoon. So we offer both morning and afternoon times for preschoolers. And then for the older children, we try to stagger it, because sometimes people will go to activities in the community that only meet, for instance, on Tuesdays or Thursdays. And other people will go to activities in the community that meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so this makes our task of trying to provide a time that everyone can come to a little bit difficult in some ways. There are also parents who work during the day and are not able to come to a story time between the hours of 9 to 5, which is your typical story time shift. So we also are lucky enough, because we have received several grants, to be able to supply people with a 6:30 p.m. story time occasionally during the week. And we do get a lot of parents who come, and I think that the parents enjoy the story time just as much as the kids do. There's a lot of laughing that goes on, and I think that it would not be a bad idea to sometimes have story times for grown-ups. If I could just think of the right way to market it, I think that could be a success.